world, it's your friend, codename X Awesome, aka Squee, here with a long overdue review of Nightwish's Human, Nature, aka Human Nature double CD. I know I've been saying I was going to dirk on this for a long time, but of course, since Mother Nature can't make up her mind about what season she wants to be in, of course, my allergies went crazy and I just felt too sick and gross to do anything. I didn't get COVID or anything like that. I just was miserable and sinusy and just didn't want to do anything. But let's talk about this album. I won't say I hate it, because I don't hate it. The number one thing I would say about this album is you have to listen to it with headphones. If you don't, you're going to miss out on a lot of different aspects of it. When I first listened to it, my husband and I kind of broke quarantine and we went for a car ride. And the entire time I'm sitting there listening to it thinking, the hell is this? It doesn't sound like metal. It just sounds like quiet folk music. So it's kind of like I was not very impressed. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to give it another go. And when I did that, second time around I had headphones on, but I fell asleep during it. So that's not a good sign either. So it's taken me a couple spins to actually get through the entire first CD, Human. Which, Human has a lot of good points to it, but it's also got points that I don't really like, or that are kind of confusing to me, like the little between for music and noise. They have a little segment where they go into the beginning beat and melody of noise, then it stops and does some sort of radio squiggle stuff, and then it goes into the actual song. I just felt like that was kind of a weird transition, so I didn't really like that. Excuse me. And then for other songs, pretty much Shoemaker, I just fell asleep during. I'm sure that there's some sort of secret spooky meaning to some of the lyrics I heard, but I don't like to analyze music. I'd rather just listen to it, so I guess I'm just not that deep. But Pan's a good song. A bunch of other songs, they're good songs. They're not really great songs. I don't foresee that I'm ever going to go, oh wow, I'm just going to bust out Human Nature tonight. I probably won't ever go to this as oh my god, I have to listen to the album. It'll probably just be one of those things I feel like hearing that song today, or I feel like hearing that song today. There is a moment in the song where I actually did something I never thought I'd do. I actually didn't want to hear Floor's voice, which it sounds terrible because I love her voice. Out of all the Nightwish vocalists I've had, she's definitely my favorite. But in the song Endlessness, pretty much it's mostly Marco doing the vocals, and I absolutely love Marco's vocals, so I was a little bit sad to have her kind of show up in there at the end. So that's just kind of, my take on that. So, Human, I'd say maybe if I had to give it a rating, I would probably give it, I don't want to say, a 2.5, more like a 3.25 stars out of 4. It isn't my favorite album, and my husband brought up a good point when I was sitting there thinking about it as I'm kind of listening, I'm this isn't really even symphonic metal anymore, this is more like symphonic folk metal. And my husband made a good point that Nightwish with each vocalist has changed their sound entirely. You're not going to hear any song like the songs from Tarja being played during Annette, or anything like that during Floor's tenure. So essentially, they kind of reinvent themselves with each singer they have. So it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's kind of unfortunate because I haven't really liked a whole lot of stuff that Floor's been doing as much as I would like to. But that's all my take on Human. Now, for Nature, which is essentially just an orchestral CD, I'm ashamed to say I haven't actually gotten through the entire CD yet, because every time I start playing it, I fall asleep. I was sitting there just kind of listening to it, just kind of chilling, and there was a part in there where they had this nice cello music going on, and all I could think was, oh wow, this would be so cool to hear Everdream and just cello, that's all it's playing is it's a cello, maybe a violin in there. That would be beautiful. But as far as the actual CD goes, I never made it through, and that sounds terrible to say, but that's the truth. So I can't really give Nature a rating. So, like I've said before, it is a good CD. I do recommend listening to it, but I don't recommend listening to it without headphones. And I feel like you have to hear it at least once or, well, at least twice, if not more, to kind of get the whole, vibe of it. Because it does have heavy metal elements. You just don't really notice them because they're kind of like downplayed by everything else. And like there's songs like Harvest where it doesn't even sound like Nightwish. You're kind of like, what the hell is this? It's catchy. After a while you're kind of like, oh, okay, I like this. It's not bad. But for the most part, I didn't feel like this was a Nightwish album. But yes, like I said, listen to it. It's good. Feel free to write in the comments how much you agree or disagree with me. Press the subscribe button, press the like button, and I guess I will see you all next time. So have a good one. Stay safe. Bye.